Today, I'm supposed to introduce the forum to all the uh, participants of in today's program. Even though I was very reluctant to take up this task, as usual, Nikhila persuaded me successfully to carry out this task. Yet I feel honored to do so. So let me introduce the forum for film discussion, and let me read out so that I'll be very clear. Talking Films Online, or TFO in short, is an informal coming together of academics, students, researchers, filmmakers, and cinephiles interested in cinema. More importantly, interested in talking and writing about cinema. The online group came together quite spontaneously during the pandemic and lockdown into June 2020. Geeta Vishwanath from Baroda and Nikhila from Hyderabad have been coordinating the activities of TFO since its inception. With people like Sanjay Kumar, Sridhar, Modugu, K. Paniraj, Ajanta Sarkar, Murali Krishna, Tarkeshwar Bibi, Ignashri, Rasha, Madhurima, Vijay Kumar Boretti, and many others who join the weekly discussions and enhance the quality of the discussion. So far, TFO has organized 225 weekly online discussions. In fact, this is the 226th one, which include weekly discussions on a pre-decided film, besides a few month-long film festivals and discussions. For instance, last September, TFO had organized a Kannada movie month where filmmakers Prithvi Konanuru and Srinidhi Bengaluru and screenplay writer Ananta Chandreya joined the discussion. Filmmakers often have made available their films exclusively for TFO members to watch by generously sharing links to their film. And this year itself, directors Bunny Singh and Sanju Surendran, associate director Robin Joy, and actor Tintumol Joseph have joined the discussion of their respective films. In the past years, we have had directors like Utsav Gonwar, Deepa Dhanraj, Jayan Chirian, Girish Kasravali, Adur Gopalakrishnan, Aparna Sen, Ajanta Anjali Montero, and KP Jaishankar, etc., participate in the TFO weekly discussions. During June every year, to mark its anniversary, TFO organizes the smartphone short film competition for students between 18 to 25 years of age, and the winners are awarded prizes. On September 30th and October 1st last year, TFO organized the Film International first international seminar on Indian cinema in the digital era, continuities and discontinuities, in collaboration with Forum on Contemporary Theory, Baroda. The aim of TFO is to get a conversation going around cinema and to get as many people involved in the process as possible. With the weekly events being online, anyone and everyone interested in cinema is welcome to TFO. TFO has a WordPress blog where all kinds of writings on cinema are encouraged. TFO's YouTube channel is called Talking Films Online, where you can watch some of the discussions. TFO has a private group on Facebook, and there is also a WhatsApp group where the posters with the film links for discussion and Zoom links are posted. Today, we will discuss the Kannada film Dvandva 2023. The director of the film, Kling Johnson, has joined us for discussion today. Kling Johnson is a passionate actor, filmmaker, doodler, writer, and music lover. A civil engineer by profession, he is from the temple town of Udupi and works as a fire and life safety officer in Kasturba Hospital of Manipal University, Manipal. Dvandva is his first indie feature effort, which has been showcased in many international film festivals. including Bangalore and Kashish, Mumbai. The discussion on the film will be initiated by Professor Shashikant Koudur. Shashikant Koudur is a professor at the School of Humanities, Social Sciences and Management at the National Institute of Technology, Karnataka, Surathkal, with over 24 years of experience indeed. Areas of his interest are literary cultures in South India, Indian musical cultures, comparative literature, etc. He has presented research papers at national and international conferences in India and abroad, and he has a number of publications to his credit. He has guided 4 research scholars through their PhD program and is guiding 4 of them currently. He was awarded the Charles Wallace Research Grant in 2014 to conduct archival research in the UK. His another distinction lies in the fact that he is trained in both Carnatic and Hindustani music. He is a well-known singer of classical, light, and film songs. I hope this much introduction of TFO and the participants is enough. I now ask Shashikant Koudur to make presentation on the film and initiate the discussion. Thank you one and all.
Yeah, I hope I am heard and seen now. Vijay?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks Vijay for that introduction. And thanks to Talking Films Online, and thanks specifically to Nikhila for again persuading me to make this small presentation before you, because I'm actually no film critic or no film reviewer. I hardly do this, but then yes, I thought I should oblige to what Nicola is asking me in this context, because the film basically comes out of my place, that is Udupi. So I thought I should give it a shot, and therefore the comments that I make here are not probably so very professional. It could be amateurish. Still, I think it stands of some value, and yeah, we will follow it up with others reviews and others comments on the movie. Okay, so this is going to be very short, maybe a maximum of 14-15 minutes, and I'm presenting whatever I have jotted down as my observations about the movie. Let us begin with it. Yeah, the Kannada film DVAMDVA is a small budget movie with the theme of a transgender's life, prepared optimally utilizing the local resources in and around Udupi. At the outset, let me tell you, as a Udupiite, I consider it a matter of pride that a film with such a theme has come out of my town and made it to certain film festivals also. It was not a success in public theater shows, as is the case with many indie movies or independent movies. However, the free availability of the movie on YouTube gives scope to catch a larger audience if one is in propaganda mode. The story is that of Sukesh, or Chuki, who begins his career as a Yakshagana artist in Udupi, doing the lead female roles. Many of you might know that Yakshagana is an art where female roles are done by males themselves, because it is a whole night show, traditionally speaking. Now they have cut it down, but then conventionally it is a whole night show, and having a female adorning the female roles could be problematic in those spaces and contexts, and therefore males used to don the roles of females. So Sukesh finds solace in doing female roles, as he strongly finds a female in his male body, and is difficult for him to consider himself a man like other straight men. His roles are highly appreciated, and there are dialogues in the movie indicating he had won several recognitions too. Sukesh is in love with Ravi, and wants to continue that relationship. When Ravi gets married, like other men, he wants to cut off from Sukesh. This is an indigestible move for Sukesh. However, somehow he is able to focus back on Yakshagana subsequently. But this is a small phase, as he is attracted to a single father, Akash. Akash's male child, Siddhu, likes Sukesh so very much. Akash and Sukesh seem to think they could lead a family life. Towards this end, Sukesh decides to undergo a gender reassignment surgery or GRS, which is encouraged by Akash. Sukesh is able to get moral and some material support from Mandakini, another transgender who has undergone the GRS and established herself in her career of choreography. As Sukesh undergoes the surgery and goes back to Akash, he is shocked to find that Akash has changed his mind and is with his parents, probably considering a remarriage with someone else. Sukesh is not accepted by his father too at home, and hence he decides to tread the lonely path ahead. The plot is quite strong and can stand as an independent story. In fact, it is an on-screen adaptation of a Kannada novel, Deepavirada Dariyalli, by Sushant Kotiyan, published by Chanda Pustaka of Vasudhendra. The underlying theme of Yakshagana is mostly a necessary occurrence in movies emerging from coastal Karnataka, along with other themes such as tiger dance, bhutakola, cockfight, etc. We have seen Kantara, which used bhutakola very prominently, and of course, the movie, all of us know that it became very famous. However, Yakshagana allows for a very specific queer aspect, which is cross-dressing. The film makes good use of this. In fact, many a Sukesh would have happened in the past who took solace in cross-dressing, donning female roles, and would have been part of the rainbow categories as we now recognize it. The movie gives us this insight and potentially opens up an avenue for the history of queerness through Yakshagana. Ironically, Sukesh wouldn't be able to perform in a traditional Yakshagana Mela once he converted his gender. In fact, that is where the end becomes more complex. Sukesh, now Sukita, is free of her family, free of her former lovers, but then loses the only source of her income, that is traditional Yakshagana, of which she cannot be any more part of, since it is a she now. She cannot have a new lover too, as it would be difficult to meet him now as a woman. So she needs more grit and determination, which is indicated by her firm and resolute steps at the end of the movie. The soundscape is quite specific to coastal Karnataka, for one can hear the dialogues peppered with Kundapura Kannada and Tulu languages in the movie. Otherwise, like many other movies representing coastal Karnataka, the dialect is mostly a mixture of the coastal and hinterland tongues. Many a time we might actually say that it is, in the movies, we might say that it is Mangalore Kannada, Udupi Kannada, and so on. But then usually it is a mixture of hinterland Kannada also. The avian calls of barbets and ashy wood swallows dot the soundscape at times and give a hint of the coastal avian population. That is, the bird calls do occur here and there. The scene from Udupi's car street has a continuous bhajan sound as a backdrop. I am not sure to what extent the original story of the novel is adhered to. I have not read the original novel. At times, I felt the absence of any Christian or Muslim figures in the movie, as South Coastal Karnataka has one of the highest populations of Christians and Muslims in terms of percentage. These characters, even donning minor roles, might give the representation a more realistic tinge. If the production team ever thought of such a pluralistic representation, and if so, what made them desist from bringing such characters on screen, would be a good query in the context of a highly communalized place such as South Coastal Karnataka. Bright colors occur in the movie in the context of Yakshagana when Sukesh is in full life. Other frames rather represent pale colors and rainy environs, reflecting the dullness of his mood. Cinematography and the camera work takes shape mostly in the open with medium and long shots. The camera work is frequented by the presence of vast spaces, the sky, the sea, and the aerial shots, making the subject appear small and weak. Close-ups are quite minimal, and even the intimate moments between Sukesh and his lovers sometimes are represented with the medium shots. This could also be because many actors in the movie are theater actors and are not used to close-ups. Many a time, the finesse of acting is missing among the actors. Some of the nonverbals are exaggerated and look redundant. This is one of the challenges that all producers and directors of indie movies must face in the absence of a large budget. It is also intriguing that too many people seem to be good and sensitive to Sukesh in his life. He has two extremely good friends who stay together, strongly anchoring his life, come what may. The manager and other people in the Mela are all good to him. There is hardly anyone who makes fun of his status as a trans except one Sudarshan, who is the friend of his father. This is hardly the case in Udupi, which is one of the most orthodox places I have ever seen. Whatever and whoever could be the subject of stereotype is stereotyped and stigmatized sooner than later. So, the bonhomie that Sukesh gets from many quarters looks misplaced. On the other hand, Ravi and Akash emerge as villains since they make use of Sukesh as opportunists. So, shall we say, there is a certain black and white treatment of characters leading to a rather simplified depiction of characters? The unfurling of the plot is again somewhat hurried. Instead of a gradual and steady move, the plot moves abruptly in a somewhat premature way at times. For example, Sukesh, who has been almost self-absorbed till the interval, is suddenly represented as close to children and a favorite of Sidhu's. Also, the intimacy between Sukesh and Akash develops quite speedily. The process of becoming intimate that begs for time from both Sukesh and Akash is negotiated rather hurriedly without the necessary cooling off time for actions and their implications. Similarly, Akash's decision to leave Sukesh seems to be a sudden turn of events unexplained to the audience. Coming to some of the conversations, a few conversations are wound up quite too soon. For example, the initial two conversations of Sukesh with Mandakini. Understandably, these are also occasions for the development of a certain intimacy between the two as co-sufferers. However, as soon as they meet, they conclude the conversation in 3 to 4 sentences. First on the sets and second in the lobby of the hotel. I think camera work and editing should have helped in this regard to indicate a more substantial conversation. These conversations are important as they win intimacy and subsequently lead to Sukesh's decision in favor of the GRS. Having said this, the movie deserves praise because of the sheer attempt to take up such a plot from a Mofassil place like Udupi. Fine arts could be a great means through which public sensitization could be handled. In the long run, such moves will embolden a tiny minority in expressing and asserting themselves as rightful individuals. Hence, let me congratulate the makers of Dvandva and wish them well in their future endeavors. So, with these few notes, I think I conclude my observations about movie, and I think it is open to public, platform. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shashikant. As you said, the discussion is open for everybody. There can be observations, opinions expressed, questions, and there can be any other commentary on the film from others. This I'll stop here, and it's now over to others.
Vijay, can I come in?
Why not? Surely, why not?
Okay. Thank you very much, Shashikant, for flagging so many issues, and thank you very much, Kling Johnson, for readily accepting our invitation to come on our platform and to be part of the discussion. I thought the film was very interesting for a number of reasons. One is, I was thinking, what is this connection between Yakshagana and, this ability to kind of transcend gender in some ways, which is how I saw it. Transcend the binaries of gender, or not allow oneself to be limited by gender norms. I think Shashikant's opening remarks told us, gave us a glimpse into the Yakshagana context, and the absence of female performers. Sometimes we have had in Hyderabad all women team which has come to perform Yakshagana, but maybe there is no men and women performing together. So I was thinking of this connection between performance and the transcending of gender. Maybe the fiction of gender or the fiction of identity itself, which is kind of solidified, which makes it seem like you cannot, you have to somehow adhere to it. I think that fiction itself is broken through performance. So maybe it is, public performance where Sukesh, or any actor for that matter, is accepted, because as much of performance is about response. So the kind of response that he gets, and the affirmation of him as her, gives Sukesh a sense of the infinite malleability of identities, not the fixity, but the openness, and the sense that one can become anything. So one may be born, in a particular kind of physiologically sexed body as male, but you can become anything. So probably it is the arena of performance that allows one this sense of, constantly becoming, changing, and there is no need to adhere to some fixity as if it is God given. So I was thinking maybe it would be interesting to look at this film and the gender performance in this film, along with Sukesh as a performer in that sense. The other thing that I was again looking at, like Shashikant, even I felt the episodes with the lovers were very quickly kind of finished. So without sufficiently establishing the intimacy and so on. But I was also thinking maybe there are limits to on-screen representation of same-sex relationships. Maybe it also matters, that one does not see something offensive. One knows what it is, but one does not see it unfolding like a heterosexual romance or moment of intimacy on scene. So it's also, I think, a form of self-censorship that has worked here, which which makes it difficult for same-sex couple to be seen performing intimately on screen. And the third aspect, which I have been talking about since I saw films like Jogwa and Nanu Avanalla Avalu, is this, that there is, I think, a way in which this way in which we see sex and gender as together. In the case of Sukesh, to begin with, have come asunder, because if we think of gender as socially accepted, and sex as something which is about the physiological body, sexuality, which is through his relationships with Akash and Ravi, I think. That kind of clearly these are homosexual relationships. So in a society which is largely homophobic, which largely looks down upon male same-sex relationships, maybe it is that which forces Sukesh to embrace the identity of Sukita, to make it a normal heterosexual relationship. That could be, I think, the driving compulsion, because then society will see it as a heterosexual relationship. I'm not sure if all this how all this makes sense, but these were some of my thoughts provoked by your film, Kling. Yeah, and thank you very much.
Kling, would you like to make interventions here now? You can.
He's not unmuted. Kling, you have to unmute yourself. You're muted.
Sorry, since I didn't get any questions from your end, I just noted down a few things what both ma'am and Shashikant sir told. I had a few things to say. Like, I was very happy Shashikant sir had noticed and he commented about this sound design, SFX, which was all like live recordings. So we on the technical side, we always thought it should be more natural. So I'm very happy that he noticed that. And coming to the DOP, the camera angles, he spoke very good. He has noticed a lot of things there, like he noticed the wide angles. Um, uh, in the sense, I hope everyone knows. Mostly, the indie makers use this long shots, wide angles, and there is no much OTS. So that is where we have taken care. And if you notice, there are a few continuous shots, about 4 to 5 minutes continuous shots, which for us was a very difficult thing to do, and we could achieve it. If you can go through the movie and see the conversation and kissing between Akash and Chuki, that is one continuous shot around 4 to 5 minutes, which is actually not an easy thing to do in Indian movies. And again, there is one more shot when Akash parents come to their house and go back. So again, it's a very long continuous shot. And I'm very happy that he has noticed that. And when it comes to Sukesh and Mandakini, we had our own limitations. We couldn't get that character, both those characters going deep. Because if you had read the uh, uh, novel, actually, Mandakini was highlighted in a bad way, like a little bad way. So we had taken her in a positive note. So that is how we didn't want to get more out of Mandakini. And again, coming to Nikhila ma'am's part, I had noticed that she was saying that intimacy was not much in between the characters. So what we thought of, like in the process of making this intimate scenes, actually we wanted to make a cut for an international film circuit, like where they accept and they want more of this love-making scenes. But when it comes to our land, when it comes to Karnataka or India, like it's not so easy taking the intimate scenes too much forward, or forward shooting it and again taking it to the censor board is not an easy thing, as you know. So actually we actually shot, but we were very scared of taking that to the festivals, like Indian festivals. So we made it short and very, though it was very sensual, we cut it off in a very sensitive way. So that was our problem there. Even though it was cut off in a very smooth way, we still had too much of problem with the censor. So it was seriously not easy to get a censor certificate. Because I hope many of them know it's not so easy when it comes to censoring such movies. Because in Karnataka, with Kannada movies, we have very short number of movies, like very handful of movies, 3 or 4, such kind of movies. So actually, we were scared to take this intimate scenes to the next level. Whereas if we had taken that risk and gone to international film festival, maybe it would have worked. But surely we didn't want to risk it with our industry, our censor board and the theaters. So that's the reason we took it in a very light mode. So this is all I had written. And when it comes to indie, as well as I heard a point there. So it was completely indie movie. So if you can see, usually indie movies doesn't have songs, but here we induced 2 songs and made it a bit commercial. Like we want to as our technical person, Sitesh Govind says, it's a kind of bridge cinema. Like we wanted a bit of songs and stuff like that. So we made it like a bridge cinema. It's not completely indie or commercial, but it's somewhere in between. Not in between though. It's somewhere near to it. So this is all the things I noticed.
Okay, thank you for that response. Quick response from Kling. I have a question to ask, but I will ask later. Murali Krishna has raised his hand. May I ask him to make intervention now? Murali Krishna?
Thank you, Dr. Vijay. Good evening, all. Well, we know that the world cinema is witnessing in a way a flow of films having this LGBTQ theme. Now we all know that the film directed by Jacques Audiard, Emilia Perez, is making a buzz in the international circuit. Of course, there are what you call criticism against the way this LGBTQ issue has been dealt in that film. So as far as India is concerned, we know the stance of our central government, and also how the Supreme Court was not able to push through the marriage of same sex. And also some of the religious leaders of various religions in India do not see eye to eye as far as this issue is concerned. So I think Kling is right when he says that some caution has to be exercised while dealing with a theme of this sort. Having said that, well, the film has shown some restraint as far as dealing with this very sensitive issue is concerned, because taking into account the background of this theme. Now I remember the film directed by Ananya Kasarvalli, Harikatha Prasanga, which also deals with the same thing. And there also there was restraint shown by the director. So I think this is a very positive aspect of this film Dvandva. Now I am very curious to know from Kling Johnson as to the spelling or the word Dvandva used in Kannada. It's not Dvandva. It is somewhat written in some other style. I don't know the reason for that. The meaning is the same. Dvandva is duality. It is written as Dvandva. Well, I think he can throw some light on that. Now, as pointed out by Dr. Shashikantha Koudur, well, he has made a very nice presentation in a very short and pithy manner. He has made a very nice presentation. Now, as told by Dr. Shashikant, there is rawness in this film. Yes, I do agree. But this rawness in the film does not mar the merits of this film as far as the theme is concerned. And indie film has its own, what can I call, in a way, drawbacks as such because of funds and other constraints. Now, coming to cinematography, it's quite striking, I felt. There have been some, this close-up and wide-angle shots have been used very dexterously and judiciously too. All in all, a very, very sincere effort made by Kling Johnson and his team as far as very sensitive theme is. This is a very sensitive theme. So it has to be dealt with restraint because we are taking this film to an Indian audience primarily. So with all the taboos associated with it, even among so-called progressives, I lay emphasis on this. Even the so-called progressive in our society are not so much open to these themes. Thank you.
Thank you, Murali Krishna, for that intervention. Would Kling like to respond to him?
Yes, sir. 2 points I had noted. I'll just give clarity on those 2 things. One is Murli sir told he was confused with the word Dvandva, though the meaning is same. Exactly, Dvandva and Dvandva, both the meaning is same, duality. Whereas very straight away answer is like Dvandva was used in many other movies, short films, many places. Like there was also a Marathi film, many short films. So I couldn't, for this duality, there was no other word in Kannada except Dvandva. So when we researched, or when our team researched, we got one more word, that is Dvandva, which originates from Sanskrit, which means the same, Dvandva. Dvandva and Dvandva is both the same. So just for the matter of registering our title in the Karnataka Film Chamber, we needed this particular word, duality. So that's the reason we found DVAMDVA. That's it. And the second thing is Murli sir told the screenplay was written by Sitesh Govind. So that is how he told the sensitive issue was taken care of. So we had written in a very open way, like for the international film festivals. But when when we thought of censoring the movie here in Karnataka, we were really scared. So that is how we sensitized the issue, and the screenplay was very sensitively changed. So that's the second point. That's it.
Anyway, hearty congratulations to you. It is a very wonderful effort. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Kling, doesn't Dvandva also mean dilemma, if I am right?
Dvandva is dilemma is exactly, and other thing is like it's confusion and it's mix of two characters in a dilemma, right? Exactly.
Okay. Anybody would like to come in and respond?
Can I
to
come in, Vijay?
Please go ahead, Geeta.
Yeah. Thank you, Shashikant, for that introduction, and thank you, Kling, for your film, which I enjoyed. We had also discussed a Marathi film called Natrang, in which Atul Kulkarni also plays this role of in a theater company. And what struck me about your film is, when, of course, I don't know who the actor is who played Sukesh's role, but I thought he did a very good job. And he, again, this has been pointed out by Shashikant. It struck me also that he seemed to be getting a lot of, support, which I thought was unusual, except, of course, from his lovers who leave him. And to an extent, the family as well. But in his, in the social circle around him, people seem to be very understanding about him. And in those scenes when he seems to, be very comfortable in the house with the child, being a woman, he dresses like a woman, and then he very comfortably occupies the space of the kitchen and is cooking there and all of that. So I was just thinking that, it was a somewhat stereotypical representation, like as a woman, like it's the kitchen that becomes a major space for him. And also the end was very sad, because I felt that the film ends on a note of, total despair, like there's no hope at all at the end of the film. So that I thought was a bit sad, like I felt quite sad about that. That's all. These are some of the things that struck me about the film.
Kling, would you like to respond to what Geeta made? I mean, some observations.
Geeta ma'am, thank you very much. I've been following you on Facebook, so thank you very much. You saw our movie, and points you have noted.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Kling, a small question from my side. What's your opinion? I mean, what's your response to what Shashikant has said about diversity in terms of the actors in Yakshagana? After this, Soumya has to say something. I'll sorry for coming in between the Soumya and you.
Like I didn't get the point, sir. Diversity with the characters or the people who playing Yakshagana.
Dr.
Uh,
Borati, hello, if I may intervene.
uh,
Borati, actually, I didn't talk about diversity in Yakshagana. I was talking about the South Coastal Karnataka context, which is diverse. I mean, every now and then you encounter a Muslim person here and a Christian person there, because the percentage of these populations is much higher than that in other places in India. Yeah. So
okay.
somewhere I felt the positive of these, Muslim or Christian characters, but not. I didn't talk about Yakshagana as such.
Okay.
Of
Okay.
such characters in the movie, maybe. Yeah, but it's not a major point, though. Of course, it doesn't affect the movie as such. But then it
Mhm.
was a kind of minor point that I thought I could make. That's it.
Soumya
Uh,
wants to ask something. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Good evening, everyone. Actually, I have got two questions for the film's director, Kling. Firstly, you have shown the clown figure who appears twice in the movie, following each heartbreak experienced by Sukesh. And that scene is depicted on a long road. So, does this clown figure have any connection with Yakshagana? Because my understanding of Yakshagana is somewhat limited. However, I perceive it as potentially symbolizing societal mockery regarding Sukhi's queer sexuality. Are there any other specific meanings that you wanted to convey through the character of the clown? And secondly, my question is about Mandakini's character. Her screen portrayal does not present her as a transgender woman, but rather as an ordinary woman. Was there any technical challenge in casting a transgender actor for this role, or is there any other reason behind this decision? Thank you.
uh, Hi, ma'am. Soumya, ma'am, I got your questions. These two are very beautiful questions because everywhere we talk, we go for a show, and finally these two uh, questions pop up. The first one is this clown, what you told. It's actually, we call it Sone the Jogi here in the coastal. But sorry, we didn't dress it up like Sone the Jogi. Sone the Jogi is like person who comes during a harvest, who is bringing good times, like during a harvest festival. So this Sone the Jogi, if you observe the first two times, the face is painted blue, which indicates that something bad is going to happen. And if you notice, both the times when he appears with the blue face, you see he's going to kill himself. He's going for the suicide. So that is what it indicates. So, but the last time when he appears, you can see the face is painted white with clanks. Um, uh, Clanks, meaning to say, it symbolizes that he's going to fly away. Like the white is, which indicates dove, is going to be free, and he's going to fly away. That is what it indicates. And the second thing, Mandakini, exactly. It was very challenging character, and we found a few queer characters there, and but it was very tough to convince them for to act in such a character. So we didn't have any help from that community. We couldn't find a suitable character. So that's the reason we went with the normal lady. So those are the two things. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Anybody else would like to ask questions, make observations now?
Dr. Vijay, one small intervention I would like to make. Can I?
You are welcome. Please.
So now Dr. Geeta, well, has averred that the ending is bleak. Well, I differ from her because you can see the strides in the walk of Sukesh or Sukita. What's her name? Sukita. Yeah, that strides and also the color used, the light used. I think they show that she is quite free and able to lead a life of her own liking. And we have seen also the example of Mandakini in the film. So I differ from the viewpoint of Dr. Geeta. Thank you. I don't know what Kling has to say about this.
Geeta, do you have anything to respond to Murali Krishna?
Not exactly. It's fine. It's just a different point of view. That's all.
And actually, I was thinking, Vijay, if I can just make just a one-line point. I thought she's back in Yakshagana attire. So I was wondering, what it kind of signifies. If she cannot act in Yakshagana, as Shashikant was saying, then what is she doing in the Yakshagana attire? Yeah, so that's the.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
can I enter? I mean, can I ask something?
Sure, Randeep. Yes.
Hello, Kling. Yeah, I just wanted to know, like, as a director, when you take this film in public, like, have you shown this film public in Udupi itself and in Karnataka, rural, urban, both? What is the public response to this film? Because, of course, it has a very deeper meaning, and it has some important role to play in society to educate people, because the family was very adamant about this very decision of his to convert, and family was totally against it. That reflects how our society accept it. So your experience as a director, like when you take these films, how is your personal experience when you take this film in public, especially in Karnataka?
Karnataka, if I have to say, I'm very happy that the Bangalore International Film Festival, run by the Karnataka government as well as Karnataka Varta Ilake, has accepted this movie. And I was very happy that since I've already told, since we already had this thought in mind that we have to take it to the censor and keep it very clean. So the censor board gave us a nod. They told go with it, and without any cuts, no single cut. It was a clean UA in one single go. So that was actually a brilliant thing for us. We were very happy with that. And we immediately came, it was censored in November, and immediately came the Bangalore International Film Festival. Though it was not selected in the main competitive section, it was selected as one of the best movies from the past 90 years of Kannada cinema. So that was a great thing. It was really wonderful. Like for 2024, this was considered as one of the best movie for the last 90 years of Kannada cinema. There was a special category called Karnataka Suvarna Sambram. So it was played there. So it was accepted well. Even here in Udupi, we had 3 continuous show for our community people, our friends, family, our colleagues, and it was a full house show. So it was expected well. So I'm happy about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Anyone else? I think the regular observation makers can pitch in, like Tarkeshwar, Sridhar, and others. Swapna wants to ask a question or make observations. Please go ahead, Swapna.
Can you hear me? Sorry, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. It's just an observation because I teach in MIT, Manipal Institute of Technology, communication skills, and I'm also a literature student. And these studies, queer theories, were a part and parcel of our syllabus and curriculum and teaching. And watching this movie from the Udupi belt was wonderful. The experience of understanding a personality, a transgender person's perspective, and that was an amazing experience for me. So I am congratulations for Kling Johnson once again, and also this forum for giving him a chance to make it a discussion point. Thankful for all of the team out there. Tukila ma'am, I met her recently, and also Shashikant sir, I know him. Yeah, so I'm thankful and congratulations. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Swapna. Anybody else?
May I, sir?
Please. Go ahead.
Yeah, I enjoyed the movie thoroughly, but my question is that even in Harikatha Prasanga, Hari is a Yakshagana artist, and even here the same. What if this character is not, presented that way? Was there no other option to, present this character as somebody else? Why Yakshagana takes that kind of significance as if it is a very thing closely connected with transgender people? What if that person, Sukesh, is a techie or somebody else? Could you please, help me to think about it? Thank you.
Would you like to come in, Kling?
Yeah, I couldn't actually get the question. Like, what if Sukesh was something else? If he was a techie?
Yeah. Why? Because in Harikatha Prasanga also presents the same kind of Hari who is, an artist of Yakshagana. So can't we think about it in other ways? So in that way, I'm asking this question, sir. But I thoroughly enjoyed that movie. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Thing is, like a character like this, like Sukesh, he can be himself when he plays such roles. So I think that's the reason he opted Yakshagana, or even in we have actually theater plays here. Even people who play female roles, maybe they feel more happy with what they're doing. So might be that might be the reason they choose to be a Yakshagana artist. I think so.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Can I share something?
Please, Peron.
I really enjoy the movie and think amazing job at the work you've done. I had a few things is that I found the character Sukesh more wanting to be a wife rather than a woman all throughout. And very clearly, even in the speech to Ravi, he mentions he prefers Ravi to be the husband. So Sukesh seems to be very interested in being a wife. And even though being a transgender is not just being a woman, and because even you can see the Activa versus the Bullet, Sukesh will ride an Activa, the man will ride the Bullet. So it was like Sukesh was interested in being the wife. And that was a little troubling for me because then at the end of it, he is no more neither wife, nor woman, no, not even a Yakshagana artist. And that is when I found that the ending was a little, as you say, desperate. So it was very sad. So that was something that I noticed in the movie. I mean, if you'd like to comment, it's good enough. But I felt that was more. I think through the movie, it seems that Sukesh wanted someone to be a witness to his life. So we are witnessing Sukesh wanting to be a wife rather than just only taken to be a woman. Because as a woman, he was accepted in the Yakshagana, uh, in the entire play. But he still wanted to be that wife part of it for some man. Am I right or am I wrong? You can please suggest.
Leo sir, you're exactly right. Sukesh actually wanted to be a completely a lady, and he says about that. Like he, he was playing female roles, but he wanted to be completely changed as a woman. So, and he expresses the same thing to Akash many times. Like, I want to be a woman, and being a woman, he wanted to wanted his life to be a full circle, and he wanted to enjoy his husband, want to have a kid, and you're exactly right. He wanted to be a woman actually, and that is how maybe uh, that went wrong. Like that couldn't be possible, though.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Teron and Kling. Anybody else would like to speak?
If there's no one else, can I come in, Mr. Borati?
Please, sir. You're welcome.
I thought I should join this issue of Yakshagana background to this movie. This is quite interesting. As Kling is saying, it is not there in the story, the literary text. It has been added by the filmmakers. And as everyone else pointed out, even in Harikatha Prasanga, the same thing happened. So why Yakshagana and what does it do to the story if it is not there in the story? A story in the sense that in the literary text, and if it comes in the movie, I think it adds an extra layer of interpretation to the whole issue of uh, construction of sexuality itself. One is there are different theories about uh, the construction of sexuality, especially what we call as gay and lesbian homosexuality. One is that it's a kind of by birth. I think even in this movie, the dialogues do hold that opinion that everybody will have both the factors of male and female, and depending on what percentage of that they have, it will be approximated to the maximum percentage of maleness or femaleness that you have. So in that sense, it is argued that it is by birth uh, that it exists in you. And the other theory is that the sexuality is purely socially constructed. If you are acting as a woman character, and then the father of this character makes that kind of judgment, just because he is acting like Alya, Ramba, Urushi, and he start behaving like that. That is only one thing. So here gender as performance. So you start performing and you become that. That is one interpretation that is possible. And the other one is even others start looking at you as a woman, and you get constituted in their gaze as woman. And it is other which ascribes this woman identity to you, and you start owning it up. So in that sense, the theory about the sexuality, whether it is by birth, approximated to the nearest gender percentage that you have, or to the, is it ascribed, constructed socially, or it's performed? Because it performed, it becomes real. I think in that sense, this background, whether knowingly or unknowingly, adds an extra layer of interpretation and makes the issue much more complex. Otherwise, the narration itself is not so much complex. But this background adds that kind of layer of complexity to the issue of what is it, the sexuality, the non-normative sexuality, which we are all talking about today, how it gets constituted. Is it biological, or is it social? Is it performative? Is it ascribed? So in that sense, I think not only this movie, even the earlier movie, knowingly or unknowingly, they have chanced upon this particular background, I thought. Thank you.
So would you like
Thank
to
you so much, sir.
Yeah. Kling, would you like to respond to Tarkeshwar's intervention?
No, I go with him, sir. I somewhere feel he's right.
Yeah, Shashikant, would you like to speak, pitch in here now? Do you have anything to say to the overall discussion so far? I'm not trying to conclude this discussion, but I'm trying to drag you in now.
Okay. I don't have much to say. Maybe one or 2 points. One is there was some discussion on the ending of the film. I think I rather go with Mr. Murali Krishna when he says he sees it as a kind of positive note, because I think the very non-verbals of what is her name? Sukita. The very non-verbals of Sukita suggest that it's a very determined, very grit-ridden kind of steps that she is taking. And she has become, in a very different sense, she has become free. Yeah. So she is free from family, she is free from her lovers, and she is probably even free from Yakshagana, maybe. But yes, I mean, we don't know what she is going to do, but then there is a certain kind of determination that is very clear in on her face. And also, this is modern times. I mean, as suggested by Nikhila, we see women's Yakshagana troops quite a bit nowadays. So it is possible that she is going to lead a women's Yakshagana troop, probably, which is what she can do probably well. No, she knows only Yakshagana. I mean, that is what we get to know from the film. I don't think Sukesh or Sukita is able to do any other thing than Yakshagana. Yeah. So I think the non-verbal suggests that it's a happy end at the end of it. And talking about what a couple of them talked about, including Tarakeshwar, why Yakshagana? Yeah, Tarakesh, I agree with him. Yakshagana is probably a convenient way where you can think of such things. I mean, probably the people, I mean, probably Sukesh is fortunate to be in Yakshagana because that allows for that kind of a space where he can, as he says, for 6 months he can be a woman without any problem. Yeah. And that too, people will love him, and they will recognize him as a woman. They will recognize his acting. So he can be a performer, he can be an artist. I mean, he can be a performer, he can be a female. Yeah. So no other profession. I mean, probably you are going to be immediately stereotyped in other professions, in other occupations, right? So Yakshagana allows for that kind of a space. So it's an easy way out for the filmmakers, actually. Yeah. So that's the reason why Yakshagana is coming in again and again, probably. Yeah, I think I don't have much other things to say here. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Nikhila, would you like to come in again? Or Geeta? The other?
No, Vijay, that's all. I have made my interventions. Maybe I'll just say one word, since you've given me an opportunity to speak about the music. I thought the music of the film was kind of and even the lyrics, there is a sense in which you're kind of making this homosexual relationship almost like a heterosexual one. Maybe in the way in which the music is used, even the lyrics suggested to me that the romance, a heterosexual romance is attempted to be recreated, with the lovers through the music and the lyrics. This is the sense that I got.
Thank you for that second intervention, Nikhila. Anybody else?
Yeah, I would like to come again on this other issue about this heterosexual way of representation. I don't know whether it's the film which is representing it like that, or whether the literary text itself does that. And this is very common that we have these notions in academics that this lesbian and gay relationship question the notions of family and heterosexual normativity. But interestingly, if you do look at outside the academia, this word, they do operate with the notion of family. That's why there's a fight for marriage system, because they do would like to be a family. And when even with what you call as gay or lesbian, somebody will take up some role of either gender. So in that sense, it is heterosexual, not in a biological sense, but in terms of other thing. So in that sense, I don't have any problem with the character wanting to get married and then lead a quote unquote heterosexual family life. And in fact, the entire the trope of gender surgery is towards that end, and it's very common. So our notions, we try to radicalize these practices in academia and then try to construct it as something earth breaking or shattering. But if you look at the community itself, there are different orientations, different ideological orientations among them. We try to see them as radical, but if you see, there are right-wing gay activists, there are left-wing gay activists, and among them itself, there's a lot of discussion. So in that sense, I don't know whether it's an interpretation that has been imposed in this medium called film, or is it there in the text itself, this desire for heterosexual relations within the boundaries of the family. Thank you.
I think scholars of gender and sexuality will see it as the imposition of hegemonic, heterosexuality, hegemonic institutions like marriage and family, making its way into these relationships as well. So the architecture only allows you to think of yourself as a wife. I think earlier this point was being made by Tyron Leo White about how it's not so much about her becoming a woman. It seems like to become a woman means to become a wife. So that is the only way in which she can envisage her role. So it tells you something about the hold of the institutions of marriage and family.
It's also true, to add to what Tarkeshwar just now told, it's also true that gay relations are homosexual relations need not be radical outside academia. If you look at what's happening in forums of marriage for convenience, or gays or homosexuals seeking relationship, so many of them do not come out of the caste norms. they would be seeking relationship within their own community, within their own caste. That's another angle that we can add to the point that talking about gay relations or homosexual relations need not be radical or need not be beyond the norms. They're within the certain norms which are commonsensical, I mean, which are commonly held by the common people. So outside the academia, things are totally different. Picture is different. In academia, we might be talking the same, but at the same time, making films on such issues are our creative expressions on these taboo subjects should also be welcome. I'm sure all of you agree with me with regard to this point. But outside the things, it's a totally different, altogether different picture we have.
I'm sorry, can I speak something?
Please.
We need to be a little careful over here because we are talking of homosexuals, and this is about a transgender who wants to become a woman. A transgender wanting to become a woman, we should not make a transgender into a homosexual again. It's not exactly a homosexual relationship in this movie as such, because it's a transgender who believes that he is a woman itself. In a homosexual relationship, you have men liking men, which is a very different aspect altogether. But in this movie, it is a boy or a so-called born as a boy or born with male genitals or anything you call it, who believes he is a woman. And that belief is the woman is more important in this movie than the homosexuality.
Okay.
I mean,
Johnson, would you like to make any remarks, comments? Are we drawing to a close? Nikhila, may I have last words?
Please do. Most welcome.
This is to this is to conclude the session if I am allowed to do so, because there are nobody is coming forward to make observations.
Swapna had unmuted. Swapna had unmuted. I had noticed that. Maybe she.
Swapna, would you like to speak?
No, sir. No, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I spoke, actually. I spoke. So, thank you. Thank you.
If there is nobody else to speak or make observations, I think we should say good night and conclude this session with immense thanks to Shashikant for initiating the discussion. And also, I would personally appreciate Kling Johnson for being adventurous in making such movies, and I hope he will continue to do so despite whatever may be the criticism, whatever may be the comments. Okay. Once again, would like to thank both of them and also all the other participants in this forum for contributing to the discussion.
Thank you, Shashikant. Thank you, Kling.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Nikhila and Geeta, can we conclude the session?
Yes, sure.
Thanks very much. Meanwhile, I came
Good
to know
night.
that Kling is husband of one of my classmates, which actually instilled a great goodwill. Though, of course, it has not influenced my criticism or my reflection of the movie. But it was great to connect with Kling with that kind of a background. So I also connected with the movie in a slightly different way once I came to know about Kling more intimately. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Everyone, good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank
See
you
you
so
next
much.
week.
Thank you. Good night.